All right, so the next one that I'm going to do here is a tax question that has come up before, employee versus contractor. And with regard to a question like this, you want to go through 6 steps and make sure that you can say it's either met or not met for a contractor or employee. Now, I know on a lot of the marking guides you only need to hit about 3 of these, but I'll just run through all 6 of them, and that'll guarantee a C for this. So number 1 is the degree of control that you have over the work that you do. Typically employees are subject to management and what they do, and contractors can kind of get the job done as they please, as long as it's done with the specifications set forth by the company. They can come and go as they please, as long as the job gets done. Number 2 is whether the employee can subcontract. So if they can go out and actually hire additional staff themselves, they don't need to go through any process to get that staff hired. It's typically a contractor who would be able to do something like that. Does the worker own the equipment? So that's obviously a pretty straightforward one. If the contractor or if the worker comes in and they own all of the materials that they use in the work process, it's highly likely that they're a contractor, because the employee typically has all of the materials given to them by management of the company. The degree of financial risk taken, so that's essentially just who's responsible for payments of the capital investments to run the project. So if there's a worker who has no responsibility for covering materials and supplies or subcontracting workers, it's highly likely they're an employee, whereas a contractor, they typically take on the risk of all expenditures for the job. The responsibility for investment. So again, that's very similar to the previous one. It's, you look at an employee, you see what type of responsibility do they have for the investment in the work they do, and more often than not, it's very little. Whereas a contractor would have a high degree of investment in their work. And then opportunity for profit. So that could stem to factors such as compensation. Are they awarded a bonus? Are they awarded stock options, stock plan? And those are typically saved for employees, whereas a contractor, more often than not, would just get that one standard rate paid through their contract. So then the last thing that you always want to make sure that you do is you conclude on the definition that you've found, whether they're an employee or contractor. You state whether there's anything that can be done to sway that definition in order for management to have their needs met. And the third thing that you want to do is you want to state what the implications are for the contractor and the employee. So the employer. So for the employer, they're going to have withholdings, they're going to have remittances, and they'll have to have T4 filings as well. And then for the contractor, you'll have GST registration, double CPP, and no EI. So if you think I've covered everything, that's good, but if you see something that I'm missing or whatever, let me know, and I hope everybody's doing good with their studies so far.